All right, good afternoon. We're going to continue with our media availabilities here at Phoenix Raceway. We are joined by Kyle Larson, driver of the number 5 Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolet. We will open it straight up to questions for Kyle. If you have a question, please raise your hand, and we'll get a wireless microphone to you. Go to Zach.
Zach Sterniola with NASCAR.com. Kyle, curious how you're looking at this weekend and how different it is still being eligible for the Owners' Championship, but not being one of the 4 going for the Drivers' Championship.
I honestly I don't view it any differently. I come here with as much focus as I had last season while racing for both championships. So, maybe if I hadn't won last year and didn't have a championship under my belt already, I would maybe come in here with a different mindset. But I think knowing that I have that on my resume already, I think it allows me to not be careless with the weekend. So, extremely focused. Would love to win that Owners' Championship for Rick and bring that big paycheck home too. That's the most important piece.
You also get 50 minutes of practice today. How much is that going to help or change the weekend, considering how little practice you guys have had for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a good opportunity just to, I think, do a lot of little things here in practice to get ready for the race and executing that right. Pit road speeds. I believe we get to select the pit stall, 5th in the order. So we already have an idea of what couple pit stalls those might be. So stopping in those and accelerating out of them. Just trying to get reps doing stuff in the race. Hopefully our car is close enough you can do that stuff and not be in and out of the garage. You're working on your car, which I think we should be good. We were good here early in the year, and I feel like our short track stuff's just gotten better. So, I think it's a good opportunity for everybody, having a 50-minute practice.
Justin Schuler kicking the tires. Last week you were pretty vocal against Ross's move or not a fan of it probably, but now that you've had the week to kind of look back on, social media and other people's reactions, do you still feel that way? And if so, do you think NASCAR needs to make a rule against something like that? Or do you think NASCAR needs to wait to see if that kind of gets abused further down the line?
No, I mean, I would love to say after listening to all the fans, my opinion has changed, because they're very educated. So, but no, it hasn't. It's just, I don't know. I feel the same way I did about it last week. And I'll start by this. It was badass. Like there was no denying that. Like when I first saw it, I was like, that was crazy. That took balls. But then, quickly after that, I was like, I think my opinions kind of come more for looking into the future of it, and when that move is going to happen again, because it will. If NASCAR, and I don't even know if they have to police it. When a car scares the wall with 5 to go, like doesn't even touch the wall, but sniffs it, they throw a caution. Because they want to set up a good finish. At the end of the race, it should be no different. Car gets in the wall, throw the caution, especially when it's something obvious like that. So I think there's lots of layers to it, safety, whatever. My view doesn't change. I don't, and it's nothing personal against Ross. It could honestly be anybody in the field to pull that move, and I would have felt the same way about it. So it's just not, it's not fair racing. And again, I've done it before, so I'm hypocritical, or I'm a hypocrite. But I'm glad I did not win, because I would not have been able to sleep at night and be proud of that. Just like I don't think I'd be proud to be in the Final Four with a move like that.
So your view is just to protect the integrity of the sport.
Yeah. I think the integrity of it. I mean, it doesn't take any talent to floor it against the wall and go 2 seconds quicker than the field. I just don't think that's fair. That's not fair at all.
We're going to go to Jerry, Nate, and then Matt.
Jerry Jordan, KickingTheTires.net. You're here as the reigning champion, about to, it's going to someone else. But have you been an ambassador How has this year culminated for you to through your season, and what are the highlights of looking back?
I don't know. I don't feel like I've done anything different this year than other years as far as being an ambassador or whatever. I've done a lot of the same stuff I've always done. I've still continued to race a lot outside of NASCAR, and I feel like that's where most of my legacy I feel like lives in, is just me racing a lot and growing motorsports that way. So that hasn't changed. But I don't know. I mean, there's definitely things to be proud of this season. I think the fight that we've put in throughout the season to get better and become stronger as a team is something I'm proud of. And I feel like although we've done it maybe a little bit late, we've gotten now to a point where I feel confident when we go into the races and in myself and in the team. So I look forward to one more weekend of trying to execute well and bring another owners championship to Rick Hendrick. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really think about it. I just look forward. I just look ahead. I feel like too much to kind of soak any of that in, really.
Good, Nate.
Nate Ryan, ABC Sports. Kyle, you said it's a big check, but NASCAR kind of keeps us in the dark as to how much. Do you know how much the team championship will be worth when you win it, or if you win it Sunday?
I don't know exactly, no, and I'd have to look back at my emails of what last year paid because I don't even remember. So it's good. It's good.
And it would be split between
It needs
the
to be bigger.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
And it would be spread across the team. It would be for everybody would get a piece of it essentially at Hendrick, right?
I don't know exactly. Why are you asking me that?
Because I thought you'd know.
I can't tell you even if I do know. Yeah, you're trying to set me up.
I promise I wasn't, seriously.
No.
I mean, we seriously.
Everybody's deal is different too. So like I could give you an answer, and Joe Logano might have a different deal than me. So.
Yeah, I wasn't asking specifically about you. I meant more like, does the whole team share in it? I guess. It seems like NASCAR's kind of downplayed a little bit. You're going for the team championship. I mean, we had media day yesterday, and you weren't involved in it. Do you care about that? Is that a motivating factor at all?
No, it's been good. I've had a lot going on this week, so I didn't have time for it anyways. So, no, I mean, it doesn't matter to me. Honestly, I like kind of flying under the radar, and I'm sure the broadcast will probably talk about it some. I'm sure we'll be part of it, but I mean, the main storyline is the Drivers' Championship. Even though, the Owners' Championship is what pays the bills, the prestige of the championship is revolved around the driver. It's never happened in the Cup Series, or at least for a very long time, where you've got a team like myself racing for the Owners' Championship. So it doesn't matter to me at all that we haven't gotten much recognition from it, and I understand why. I think as well, if there was a reason why we haven't, but because the Drivers' Championship is what's always been kind of focused around.
And last one for me, there's never been a situation, obviously, where the champion has not won the race since they switched to this elimination structure in 2014. But there's been some chatter that you could maybe end that trend because every time in the past, it's always been 4 guys. Now it's 4 guys plus you who are really trying to win this championship. Would you take some pride in that if maybe there's a split for the first time where you win the race and the champion doesn't?
I don't know. I guess I wouldn't view it that way. I would still view it as one of the championship teams won it. But I think this year is different than other years, just with the parity that we've seen all season long. I think it could be somebody totally different than the 5 of us. I don't think it's just down to the 5 of us to win this. So, I wouldn't be surprised at all if come Sunday it's a different winner. I think it's going to happen. I don't know.
Go to Matt and then Kelly and Lee.
Matt Weaver, Racing America. Nate's questions are actually, both of them, identical to mine, but I'll take it kind of a step further, though. Do you still feel like in this situation that it's the same as last year where you're racing for a championship? Does this feel like a championship race for you?
Yeah, it does. Definitely. Yeah, I don't feel different. I don't view it any differently. I feel just as focused and driven as I did last year to win the championship. So I don't think you were in here, but I answered the question I think right off the bat, and I said if I didn't have a championship already under my belt, maybe I would come in here a little bit more careless, just because I'd be mad that I'm not in it personally. But I think with me having a championship on my resume already, I'm just happy that I have one. So it doesn't matter as much to me to get another. I guess, I mean, don't take that the wrong way. I want to win more, but I think I care a lot more since I've already got one before.
Thank you.
Go to Kelly.
Kelly Crandall, Racer.com. Kyle, is the Champions Journal still a thing?
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to over the next couple weeks or whenever you'll pass that on and just getting to do that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a thing. I haven't opened it since I got it, but what? I mean, no, I think it's not something that, like, I think it's so special. You want to just read it once or twice. I think, reading it once when you get it, and then once again before I return it or give it to the next guy. It's an extremely special book, and I think that was the thing that I was most excited about from winning the championship last year, was to receive that. And I'm sure everybody in the Final Four right now feels the same way. I'm sure it's crossed all their minds at some point this week, is that journal. So yeah, I look forward to whoever one of the four wins, of writing my piece and giving it to them. So yeah, it's a really cool thing, and I hope I can win other championships down the road to see what's been passed on since me.
So you opened it when you got it, and you'll do it again before passing it?
Yeah, I read it. I read it all. I read everybody's pages and stuck it in my safe, and it's been sitting there for close to a year now. So yeah, and I'll get home and pull it out and probably practice my handwriting and make sure it looks pretty.
And then I wanted to ask, being a reigning Cup Series champion, what has that meant in terms of how you felt you've wanted to just carry yourself, or the way maybe NASCAR has used you this year, and things of that nature as a reigning Cup champion?
Yeah, I don't know. I think what's good about me is, yes, there's probably things that I should do differently, but I'm me, and I think that hasn't changed from winning a championship or not. So I'm still the same person I was a year ago this week before a championship. So and I feel like that's not a bad person. So yeah, this year has been great on many levels, but I feel like through it all and throughout all the ups and downs of this season, I'm still the same person, and plan to be years from now. So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but I'm me, I guess.
Go to Lee.
When Jimmy Johnson was in here earlier, he said he was trying to tempt you into going IndyCar, run the Indy 500. Has there been any further discussion on that?
No, I mean, when Jimmy ran the Indy 500 this year, I was definitely picking his brain a lot after the race about how it was and what it drove like and this and that. But I've never talked to him that I know of really about like me racing it. I think it's obvious that I want to race it. Nothing has moved forward with it. I think if something came to me that was in a competitive car, I would jump right on it. So I just think there's so very limited rides when you're kind of just restricted to one manufacturer. So yeah, it's tough. I think I read where Kyle kind of stalled out with him. So yeah, it's just it's tough. It's tough, but I would love to run it.
Max Siegel was in here earlier, and they announced that Rev Racing's going to go truck racing in 2023. How important was it to have a place like that to kind of get your feet wet in NASCAR before you moved on?
Yeah, it was great. Rev Racing was cool. I was so busy that year racing. That's the most I've ever raced in one season, was 2012 when I ran the K&N East series, and so I wasn't able to really utilize the resources of Rev Racing and the day-to-day things that the kids do there throughout the weeks at the shop, of as far as working on the cars or being in the gym or doing the media training and all that, because I was off racing all the time. But that being said, it is a great platform for kids of a diverse background, and I'm glad that I was able to be a part of it, and glad that I was able to get experience at a lot of the tracks, or a handful of the tracks that I was able to race at, the following season in the Nationwide Series at the time. So, and we won the championship that year. So that's something I'm definitely proud of as well. And looking forward to them moving up into the Truck Series. I read with the alliance with KBM, I believe. So really cool.
I'm going to go to Luis.
Luis Torres, the podium finish. With now coming to a close with the first year of the next gen over here, what is the grand takeaway you'll take from this season, more so as your kids get older and more aware of what you do as a profession?
What's that?
Your grand takeaway of this season that you can share over time with your children as they get older and become more aware of what you do behind the wheel.
I don't know. I don't know. I guess if you're asking about the next gen car itself, I guess, and the impact, I guess I would say the impact that it's had on NASCAR this year has been really cool. It's yeah, I think it was a big change in the sport over the last year. Just with and two, I think really cool how through all the supply chain issues and stuff and COVID and all that, a couple years ago, kind of where the sports come from and where they continue to move forward. So maybe that's something when you look back to now, 10, 15, 20 years from now, and looking at this era and how it changed the sport, I think that's something you can remind and teach generations, younger generations, about how far the sport had to come to get to where they are at currently. So cool to be a part of this generation of car and class of drivers, and hope to be around for a long time as we experience other changes, I'm sure, in the future.
All right, Kyle. Well, thanks for joining us today, and good luck this weekend.